Alright, welcome back to Let's Play Riven. I have done some looking around, and because obviously this is wrong, how I've got it set up. So I did some looking around, and as you can see, I took a screenshot of this to make sure it matched up with this. And then I looked at his specific notes, and he said, off, these are the numbers that are off the perfect number. Well, the perfect number right here is 9. So I'm going to increase or decrease the number by, this is actually wrong. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to slide this to 3, counting this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to trust me that I have these numbers. Um, so assuming that yellow is on 9, which is where I have it, we're going to take 9 and we're going to go back to 1, 2, 3 with red, 5 with yellow. Green should be next. It is 18. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then blue at 21, 19, 20, 21. And then purple at 23, 22, 23. And now the button is here. And I'm automatically going down. Which makes me think I got this right. I shall let you see the intro. Oh well. It circles around a giant, like, satellite dish, which is, if you remember from Gen's pictures, that's what his world looks like. So as I got here, you can hear the bells dinging.
I apologize for the cage. I'm afraid this situation has often required of me a more primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen. I am Gen. I assume you've heard of me. Yes. Well, I suspect you have acquired some false information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atris. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was. Yes. I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. A great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions. That was 30 years ago. 30 years, 30 lifetimes, what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for the man I was. But I have changed. Be sure the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for, but my mission was an honorable one. I'm sorry, this is all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer. Atris's choice of punishment has been hard on the people of Riven. Many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years, but according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the Fifth Age has entered its final days. Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in... Well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably. It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. As far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had no alternative. I had to separate her from her people. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atris desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart. But he is completely unaware of her recent state. Which brings me to the point of all of this. The linking book you brought with you. You're very fortunate to have recovered it. If I may. Thank you.
He's reading it to see if he can figure out a trap code in it. If there's anything missing. But he hasn't seen a linking book to Dunny in so long. You can't quite tell. He doesn't
Perhaps
trust
it would be
Atris.
best if you went through first. You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book.
So in the olden days, there were 5 books here, one to each age. One to each island. And that is the way you got to Catherine's Island. Was the 5th island book was here. Although I don't know what he means signal him. Does he mean come back? I guess that makes sense. Because you used to have like a bell or something you could ring. Alright, we're going to do this. There's not really anything else I can do. I forgot to look at as I said, if you want to see all the endings, you're going to have to do it on your own. Oh, dang it. I don't want to be here. Alright. But as I said, if you want to see all the endings, you gotta do it on your own. I can't guarantee I'm going to show you all the endings. But I think one of the endings I definitely missed is using the linking book, or the trap book, out here in the middle of Riven. And because he took the linking book, I can't do that. I also think, if I remember right, he goes, I don't know who you are. But thank you for helping me when you signal Atris too early. He might say, I don't know why you did this or something. He might not. I don't remember, and I'm not going to do the whole thing just to show you. so we're gonna go back to the main island. I'm gonna try to pull off as many of these endings as I can without going horribly out of my way. One of them requires me to do a little backtracking. I'll show you what I mean. Now we gotta do this. I can't skip it. This takes forever. So now you can watch this. See, that's where we're going. Okay. In the olden days, you had you had 3 chances. I don't know if you still have 3 chances. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to save before I jump in.
I'm relieved you've returned. I thought perhaps you had decided against it. Here, I shall follow you directly. Please. You're free to go. But I think you should not come back unless you're willing to use the book.
Okay. Yeah, I can't save. Yeah. All right, I'm not gonna watch you. I'm not gonna make you watch me do all of that, going back and forth again. So, uh, we'll resume the video when we get to the linking books again. All right, let's go. So we're gonna do one ending now. Funny, he's already coming up the hill when the bell goes off.
All right then, once more. The only path open to you now is through this book. Take it. You see, I have changed. There was a time when I might have let you live. I made that mistake with Atris once. It's a pity you decided not to give me a second chance. Well, there's still time.
All right. Yep, he's totally changed. Brand new person. All right, now we're going to do another ending. But as you can see, that last ending was one of the official ones because the credits rolled. I don't think they rolled previous couple times.
All right then, once more. The only path open to you now is through this book. Take it.
So I have to go in, but the way prison ages work is only one person can be in at a time. All right. this is a book to his newest age that he's writing to get everybody, quote unquote, safe. First thing we're gonna do is see what this is. It's a music box. I'm gonna turn that off. Weird that these are here. No, I guess he has Rivenese working for him. So they're gonna build a temple. So we can't go there. That's like a throne. So I know they did it because they can't keep making everything he's doing. But what the heck is Gen doing here that's so important? I guess maybe he has a linking book on his person. And that's one of the things that always confused me. I was like, well, when I'm building like a map or something, I always put in a reason. Like I'll put in is that a bookshelf? I'll put in locked doors that are impossible to open, but that way it looks like there is possibly a way out to keep going and you just can't access it, you know? Alright, so I saved when I got here, which is important because what we're going to do now is if I can remember how to do it right here, we're going to release Ken. Because why not?
I don't know exactly why you released me, but you realize, of course, that this must be the end for you. may provide you with some solace, however, to know that with this act of self-sacrifice, you have secured your place in history. The Dunny culture will be reborn, and the lives of millions will be purified. Thanks to you. Farewell.
Hopefully we don't go through the credits again. It just takes me to the main page. Nope. Okay.
¿Quieren Atsu? ¿Shema? Shorate. Mataneta. Tagamem. San Botegan Shem. Fasi.
I believe that's Gen's wife. I start this latest journal with astounding news. Catherine has returned to the Fifth Age, and though it sets my teeth on edge to say it, she has also vanished as quickly as she appeared, stolen from me by the rebels. As my guard tells it, she linked into the Fissure Plateau cage, just as I'd surmised, when suddenly he was... Oh, the guard. She linked into the Fissure Plateau cage, just as I'd surmised, when suddenly he was set upon by a band of rebels, who darted him and spirited her away. I expect the truth of the matter was that he was so dumbfounded at actually witnessing someone link in after all this time that he presented an easy target for whichever rebel happened to be nearby. The damnable luck of it. He did get a good enough look at her, though, to verify it was indeed Catherine. He also claims that he inspected all of her belongings and found no linking book on her person. A fact that I find hard to believe, but if true, makes the question of why she returned here all the more puzzling. While I am sick with frustration at having lost the only quarry that cage has ever caught, I'm also filled with hope, as she may yet provide me with a way back to Dunny. It is true that I have managed, despite overwhelming odds, to break free of the confines of the Fifth Age. I resume my mission to save my culture from extinction. But I fear that unless I am able to regain access to the vast resources that lie in the city's ruins, the task of resurrecting that great civilization will be impossible. If Catherine did bring a linking book with her, then I am halfway there. If not, then she is trapped in the Fifth Age, and I can only assume that my emotionally crippled son will soon be along to rescue her. Either way, it is crucial to my plans that I find her soon. Her presence here now forces me to take the rebels more seriously. I should never have permitted them to survive this long. Once again, the Great Walk has demonstrated its usefulness to me. The villagers have been difficult to manage in the wake of Catherine's arrival, and their fear of this mythic beast has been all that has kept them in line. Had I known how truly useful these prodigious creatures would prove to be, I would have captured more of them, while the local population was still plentiful. Although, to be sure, if these disturbances continue, my current pets will be in no danger of perishing. perishing for lack of nourishment. The search for Catherine continues. I like how started writing Catherine with a K. I deeply regret my mistake of having ever taught these primitive people anything at all about the books. It seems that with each passing day, I more sorely realize the extent to which they were not ready for that knowledge, not even in the simplified manner in which I presented it to them. Their minds adapted only to the exceptionally menial tasks of village life, were incapable of comprehending the art in all its complexity, and were thus unable to glean any of the underlying principles that are, ironically, so elegantly simple. It is obvious that so much of the discord that exists between us stems from their failure to grasp the meaning of the information I gave them. If they had been able to gain even the smallest glimpse of the glorious future I had planned for them, this conflict would not exist. The minds of the children, however, are much more malleable. With the proper tutelage, they have developed a more appropriate posture towards the culture that has given them their lives. At times, they take to it almost as if they had a gift of Denny blood in them. A git. As if they had a git of Denny blood in them. A bit. Oh, that's a B. There we go. Given the natives' inborn limitations, however, I'm quite careful that none gain a level of understanding that would permit them to sin against their future. Sin against their future the way Catherine did. How foolish I was to think that she could wield such large responsibility. It was quite clear that my own son could not. Atris. Still, he remains one of the greatest disappointments of my life. I should never have left him with my mother. By the time I'd returned for him, he'd already been poisoned to all thoughts of aiding me in my noble mission. Perhaps that was the only way she could soften the fact that she had been responsible for the collapse of the entire civilization. So much destruction, so many great lives lost. The guilt must have been unbearable. She did seem to love my father and our world, but ultimately she was an outsider whose ignorance of the Dunny became the catalyst for their demise. If I am able to rebuild our culture, and in the process correct such weaknesses, then perhaps what she did was ultimately necessary in order that a new and stronger heir, prosperity, might someday come to pass. I've been increasingly beset by images from the past these last few weeks. As I stood in the schoolroom today, I was reminded of my own childhood, the years I spent in the Bookmakers Guild, Father's immense pride in each of my small accomplishments there. He was an important man in the Dunny world, but I cannot bear to think of him for long. It is too much. I was too young to see such things. I have her. Late last night, I received word that Catherine has been apprehended while attempting to persuade some of the villagers to join her. I lost a few men in the process, but I would have gladly paid 100 times that number for such a prize. She's been imprisoned in my old office, where I've been attempting to gain some insight as to the reason for her return. I've had to fight the all but constant impulse to put her to the gallows, as she has adopted the most infuriating stance of only answering my questions. Of only answering my questions, when she answers them at all, in her native tongue. Even so, she is a poor liar. I am now certain that her return to Riven was unintentional, and that she brought no linking book with her. As far as her willingness to share with me the location of the Moriarty, we shall see. Without their leader, however, they are once again powerless against me. If Catherine's coming here has indeed been an accident, Atris is bound to come for her. That's a given. The question I must now consider is, how will he attempt it? It is likely that his hesitation is due, at least in part, to this dilemma. One way or another, though, he'll have to bring a linking book to get back. There is no other way. It's late, and I cannot sleep. I've lost so much in my life. My people, my father, my son, and you, my wife, Kita. You were the only true kindness I have ever known. Watching you flicker there in the imager, I sometimes wonder if you were real. If I could restore your life with my pen, I would do so in an instant, and leave the rest of the world to their own wretched fate. Damn these savages. I would be well advised to leave them all in the Fifth Age and begin again with a clean sheet of paper. A stranger has arrived in Riven with a linking book to Dunny. Once again, my useless minion was overtaken by the rebels. From what little I could decipher of his muddled explanation, it apparently occurred sometime this morning. Cage mechanism has been damaged, but that is no matter. Everything I need is here now. Atrius is certainly behind this, but why would he send someone else in his stead? And with a linking book, no less. Surely he would have guessed that I would be waiting for him. Such recklessness is unlike him. Could it be that he's had a change of heart towards me? That after all these years, he has finally decided to let his poor old father go? I know him all too well. I know all too well where his loyalties lie. He is only after one thing. Perhaps the stranger should find her. For now, I need only to wait and observe, beginning to think it was a mistake to allow the stranger to roam freely about the islands and their ignorant probing. They attempted to power the damaged drawbridge from the temple island, and the entire bridge collapsed. Trivial loss at this point, but it irks me all the same. Had I not yet managed to free myself from that crumbling age, it would have been hampering. It would have hampered my progress severely. Wonder what happens if you don't do that. But again, it is no matter now. The day will soon come when I will be done with Riven forever. Disconcerting news. Last night a group of maintainers happened upon a lone rebel scout and were able to engage him long enough to learn a most implausible device. A crystal window, supposedly capable of amending my linking books, much the way that my own remarkable system does, with one slight advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it entirely portable. If this outlandish claim were true, then the artifact in question must be something that Catherine fabricated prior to her capture, no doubt from an explicit Dinny schematic she brought with her. Only I'd have access to such a document as all these years. The portent of these revelations is deeply troubling. Some years ago, the rebels managed to abscond with a dysfunctional linking book I had intended to destroy. The book was never recovered, but once they had sufficiently atoned for their sacrilege, I graciously decided to let the matter slide, thinking that in their inept hands it could do me no harm. But if Catherine has indeed empowered them with such a device, the rebels may well have linked to another age. It also means that this age is no longer safe. 322 or something? No, because I don't remember. This cannot stand. The stranger is the key to all this. Tracking their movements has given me a good idea of where the rebel linking book and the crystal may be hidden. But before I can deal with that, I must secure the linking book back to Dunny. Everything hinges upon that. If I can regain access to my arsenal of resources there, I'll happily leave the whole of Riven to its own dismal future. Imager codes. Alright. We're going to put these imager codes and stuff on Island 5, because that makes the most sense for them anyway. Odd. Oh, sorry, I lift that up. Okay, what we're looking at is this little ball right here. So I'm going to see if I can get that written down. Ding. And then it's kind of like gears. And ding, tisk, and then just ding. We're gonna see if that's good enough. Alright, so father. So that's Kita. Father is 2 and 3.
Now, my turn. You want to record something so always you will remember. What is English for scramape? Scum from above. Your appearance should have inspired us to a better future. What does it mean for us as a people if we cannot embrace worlds outside our own? You were an angel from above. Always you will be my angel from above.
And then Anna, which I think is his mother.
your angel. An angel of death. The Denis Council knew it. They knew. If I hadn't tried to force my own ideals on your world, you would still be alive. You would still be alive. I wanted a life full of magic, full of books that bridged worlds, that lit up the darkness like stars. The possibilities were endless. It's just us now. You'll never have the life you should have had. Somehow my love and compassion, it took that. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Again.
Alright, so I don't think the mom and dad were in the original game. I'm not as familiar with the game after you get here, because I rarely, in the original game, I could rarely get the linking book to this age to work. It was just as complicated, and alright, so now I can go back and forth because the cage is gone. Okay, I'm gonna end this video here, and we'll start probably the last one. So I'll see you on that.